Good morning and welcome to our featured speakers, Ms. Tamara Nanayakkara, Consellor, Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Division, the World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO, Dr. Noam Shemtov, Deputy Head of Center for Commercial Law Studies, Queen Mary University, Ms. Laura Dabro, Senior Business Development Officer, Kariri, Ms. Stephanie Pemberton, CEO of Planting Seeds, on our co-host for today's session, celebrating IP and SMEs, taking your ideas to market. Our celebration comes the weekend before April 26th, but we're very happy to be celebrating on a Friday with you, where we have distinguished speakers from around the world and the region, merging the government sector, the private sector, the seeds, equity, environment, as well as our incubators. And a special welcome, of course, to our incubators from NETCO, who is joining us as well today and presenting. The theme this year is IP and SMEs for World IP, taking your ideas to market. It is simply through ideas the world has evolved. It is no doubt that a business starts with ideas. The growth of entrepreneurship and small or micro enterprises has been exponential over the last decade, with many pop-up and new businesses established. In Trinidad and Tobago, one can't go 3 weeks without a pop-up market with very phenomenal products locally made. Through our efforts in bringing awareness to IP rights in Trinidad and Tobago, we have seen an unprecedented increase in the number of innovators seeking to protect their rights and their assets as it relates to IP. In a time where the world has been filled with much uncertainty, from those in the entertainment and art industries to the academic field of researchers and scientists, many have pivoted so that their minds and ideas can become IP assets that drive business development. The TTIPO has collaborated with a number of our sister entities in the National Innovation System, charged with facilitating or assisting with the generation of and further diversification of local industries. As part of our own national project on building respect for IP, we have seen the promulgation of some fruitful initiatives since its launch. For instance, our very own short drama documentary included local actors and artists bringing awareness to the industry. In fact, one of the featured artists, Mr. Irvin Owls, has his trademark registered at the Trinidad and Tobago IP office. We have been facilitating specialized IP clinics with the Caribbean Industrial Research Institute, Kariri, for a number of years, represented here today by Ms. Laura Dabro. And we have hosted approximately 50 clinics with Kariri to date. A new and exciting partnership has been launched with the Planting Seeds organization and its dynamic CEO, Stephanie Pemberton, through which the WIPO intellectual property diagnostic tool has been introduced. The tool is a platform that facilitates the undertaking of a basic diagnostic of the IP situation of a business, almost akin to an IP audit. It is in questionnaire form with varied sections of pertinent questions relating to IP topics, which after answering generates a report for the particular SME or business owner. The report gives recommendations and further IP information as well as business competitiveness. Today we are pleased to have WIPO's Ms. Tamara Nanayakkara presenting on this very same diagnostic tool that will be customized for Trinidad and Tobago, a first of its kind project in WIPO. We're very pleased to be introducing this today. The global crisis has changed shopping patterns, entertainment, and the general conduct of how we do business, not just in Trinidad and Tobago and the region, but the wider world. Many services now require transactions to be done online. Given the pandemic and the new normal, now is certainly the right time to protect your IP assets. We have seen 846 local trademark filings at the TTIPO for the period January 1st, 2019 to December 31st, 2020, while for the previous year, the figure was 665. This shows a marked increase of 181 filings between the periods and can be attributed to our enhanced initiatives to date, as well as the TTIPO providing full online services since March 27th last year. One can now file for their trademark, pay for their trademark, or for any industrial property service online through the TTIPO. Another initiative launched and facilitated by WIPO is the WIPO Match tool. This tool can be quite beneficial to SMEs. It is a free online tool that allows for the linking of businesses that have systems or processes that can be mutually beneficial to each party. In keeping with WIPO's developmental agenda thrust, the aim of this stakeholder community is to combine the power of the industry and private sector, linking them to promote socio-economic and cultural development in the developing world. The major advantage of the existing support of WIPO Match is increased visibility on the platform and wider access to the network of global players. Indeed, we have had a successful match in Trinidad and Tobago with our Moruga Hill Rice producer, Vista Dorado Estates, having achieved a match with the African Agricultural Technology Foundation to build their e-commerce platform, which has now taken Moruga Hill Rice online and to the world. On January 12, 2021 this year, the Madrid Protocol entered into force in Trinidad and Tobago. The protocol is an international filing system which affords the applicant protection in several jurisdictions by filing a single application with a national office. SMEs now have a more affordable route and quicker access to brand protection in 123 countries by paying a single fee to WIPO. The WIPO protocol not only gives SMEs the advantage of filing in multiple countries with one fee, it also gives a huge boost to economies as more revenue can be generated into the economy and thus larger contributions to our GDP. These initiatives are aimed at an increasing awareness which correlates to more filings for IPRs. I am particularly honored to have Dr. Shemtov as a speaker here today as well, presenting on the topic of IP and commercialization throughout the mobile app life cycle. The TTIPO has been heavily involved in the CDIP project, the Committee for the Development of IP, in WIPO as part of a pilot project together with Kenya and the Philippines to develop the mobile app industry, of which Dr. Shemtov has completed the scoping study for and will speak to later today. Very exciting developments for our SMEs who use mobile apps as part of their business thrust. Lastly, as I close and as I hand over to Tamara, intellectual property rights protection should be at the forefront to maintain and drive the success of these emerging businesses, many of which have been developed to meet the new standards driven by the pandemic. It can be said that events happening today and around the world as IP offices celebrate World IP Day this week and next week meant to meet the new demands driven by our new environment, the consequences of which have allowed us to truly be innovative. Social media as well as socially distanced businesses innovations have become a staple over the past few months. Brand identification has therefore become an integral part, and therefore brand protection should follow suit. It cannot be stressed enough the importance of IP, especially at a time such as now. I therefore encourage the new SME owners here today to get involved, and if they have not yet done so, to those that have already used the IP system to continue to do so, to surpass the limits. I wish everyone today a fantastic meeting. Thank you very much, and I now hand over to Tamara.
Thank you, Regan, and it is great to be here, even though I must say I would rather be there with all of you chatting about cricket and having some doubles. That is not when we're talking about IP, of course, but anyway, it's great to be here. And I'm so glad that you're celebrating World IP Day theme of IP and SMEs, talking about IP support, because that is the crunch. SMEs need support in all areas of their business. But given that IP is something that is often very marginal in the minds of SMEs, IP support is even more important. I want to assure you that WIPO is with you as you build your services for SMEs, and I'm really pleased that Trinidad and Tobago was the first country to dive into the deep end and decide to customize the tool, and we are looking forward to seeing the results. I'm excited to hear that it is already in use, and I look forward to hearing about how it is received. For us at WIPO, what we have learned in the some 20 years of being in this IP for business domain is that it is impossible and actually quite inefficient to try to support SMEs directly. There are just millions of SMEs out there. We can never reach them. And in any case, it is not the best way to go about our work. So we believe that we need to work with the IP officers and those that we call institutions that we call SME intermediaries. That is those institutions that work with SMEs. And the IP office is also such an institution, and build their capacity to serve their clients. So it is in this context that we built this tool to, on the one hand, to provide SMEs an easy to use tool that they can use themselves, and to provide themselves the option of getting an IP diagnostic of their business as a preliminary idea, and also to be used by SME intermediaries as a tool that they can use to structure their interactions with SMEs while they are providing them IP support. It could be some kind of a preliminary assessment that SMEs can do before they go to the SME intermediary, or it's something they can do with the SME intermediary, guiding them, supporting them, and interpreting the results. So I will talk more about the tool when I present the tool. So for the moment, thank you again for this invitation. It's great to be with you, with old friends, and I look forward to the proceedings of the meeting today. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Tamara. I recognize as well, before I introduce Stephanie to do our feature address, Mr. Colin Providence of NETCO, and we really look forward to the presentation of NETCO, our partner as well, and the new services we are having with NETCO as an incubator for IP. I'm very pleased to have Stephanie Pemberton, CEO of Planting Seeds, and representing the private sector, and talking about our new initiatives and also initiatives that the Planting Seeds company is doing to really provide a fillip to innovation for SMEs in Trinidad and Tobago. I've seen this myself, having been in Tobago at the Planting Seeds market, and witnessed firsthand a few weeks ago how the Planting Seeds market is really generating interest and buzz on our local SME sector, which is very critical for us, and then providing an outlet for them to be able to export their goods through the online platform. So welcome, Stephanie, handing over to you.
Yes, thank you so much, Regan, and thank you so much for the Intellectual Property Office for including Planting Seeds, including the private sector, including young budding entrepreneurs into this program. I do believe that being able to have all of their intellectual property and all of that IP diagnostic tool is just so important in order to be able to spur the international competitiveness of local products. And it is something that I found was a very, very good initiative on behalf of you all, because there are not many tools out there for entrepreneurs that are free of charge to be able to help them to understand the legal aspects of their business. And a lot of them cannot, afford lawyers to be able to help them through that. And I really, really think that this is a really good partnership. I think it's a good initiative, and I'm very, very happy to join. I know that I have some opening remarks and I have a great presentation for you all to see the work that we have been doing in terms of digitizing SMEs. And we are not just a marketplace, we're also a TV series, magazine. We've done a lot of educational workshops for entrepreneurs for the past 4 years, and now move forward to digitizing the SMEs under our umbrella. And our partnership with the IPO office has shown that we can do a lot of digital integration by allowing them to, with the legal side of their business. We already started this project, and already we have about 50 people, 50 entrepreneurs that we have funneled through a pipeline, and we have now been able to assess exactly where they are now with the questionnaire. And by the end of 3 months, I'm hoping that we can give a very accurate report of where they are after 3 months. I'm hoping that we can be able to ensure that all of the people within the network are now on a different level in terms of understanding their IP, in terms of doing the IP diagnostic tool. When we put it out to our network, a lot of the entrepreneurs gave such good feedback about it, and the IPO office has been really, really supportive in terms of giving us the resources of their staff to basically call all of the entrepreneurs. I was on one of the calls myself, and after the phone call alone, that entrepreneur learned so much about their business, about their products, about the legal aspects of their products, and especially about IP. And I'm definitely seeing that this is going to be a lot of growth and sustainability for the entrepreneurs. So I'm really, really excited about it. I'm very happy that you all included me and Planting Seeds. I'm pumped about it, and I'm gonna give my presentation a little bit later about Planting Seeds. But again, thank you for having us as part of this initiative, and I 100% endorse it. I believe it is needed, and it fills a much needed gap in the education market for SMEs.